Just a few tidbits on lawsuits. They're no fun. If you've been through them, you know. How do you know whether you should actually go into a lawsuit? And I'd say, just for me, from my own experience, I'd say you got to figure, what your product's going to be worth at the end of it. You got to figure about 3 years of your life, all of your money, possibly your credit, possibly borrowing more on other properties. It really takes a lot to fund a lawsuit, especially if the realtor has, insurance, and most of them do. So, when you're in a lawsuit, first of all, a lot of people jump in because they know they've got proof the realtor lied and they have insurance and they need to pay for this so we can fix it, and then we can sell the property and we get what we thought we had, whether it's lake access or the roof's fallen down or whatever ends up happening that you need to fix so that you can sell it and have the property you thought you bought. The thing is it takes a long time, so you really have to examine it before you jump in. Engineers, attorneys, and people really treat you bad. Real estate attorneys even treat you like you're the criminal instead of the victim, even with a whole bunch of proof. Some of them are nice to you and they can see their paycheck, but from what I've seen in several instances, the real estate attorney's not any nicer to the consumer than the realtor is. It's just that they end up working for you, which in turn makes them some money. So once you're in it, a couple years in, if you need some money, you might look at people who fund lawsuits, especially if you have, without a doubt proof and you want to just keep going for it. But some people just decide to move on and take their life back years into it. And that's what the realtor's hoping for, because they don't want to actually have to pay for the lies that they told you or what they didn't disclose, or silent fraud, which is, not telling you anything. So, but even after the lawsuit's over, even if you've settled for hardly anything or just some of your out money back, you don't get back all your sleepless nights. You don't get back all the stress. You don't get back all the time. And some people say, well, you know what? You need to be positive and you need to pick yourself up and you need to move on. And that's the best thing to do. I think that that's wonderful and you should do that. But at the same time, I think you should email me, crystal@crystalcox.com, and tell me your story. Send me a video telling me what happened to you. I got a call the other day from someone who's been in a lawsuit for 2.5 years. The realtor lied. And this happens all the time, and I want to hear these stories and I want to tell these stories. I want to tell what's happening to the real estate consumer right now, today, and it's not about being negative, it's not about getting over it or sweeping it under the rug. It's about preventing realtors and sellers, real estate transactions, from doing this to people in the future. The sleepless nights, moving around from house to house, or staying in a motel, or renting a place, moving your stuff around, the health issues, the money issues, the time, the loss in equity, the loss in revenue from your job, sickness, and sometimes even death. Mold poisoning. Children have sometimes even died from lies of realtors. So we need to expose these situations so that it doesn't happen to real estate consumers in the future. Some people think that this stuff isn't still happening. It's still happening today. But basically, what the real estate consumer is forced to do is they're brought to their knees, right? They're drugged through court. Well, they don't even get a court date. They're drugged through some arbitrations, but mostly it's just discovery, and on and on and on, and years of back and forth and back and forth. And the seller and the realtors usually hide their assets, and you can't, even if you do get the sellers, they hide their assets, but the realtors, their insurance just keeps you in court for years and years and years, right? So you're just like, oh, I just can't take anymore. And so then they offer you some puny settlement, and you go, okay, and you take your life back, and you move on, and you be positive, right? What else do you do? You know what you do. You sign that little piece of paper that says you won't talk about it. Neener, neener. You're not going to tell anybody about the last 3 years of your life. You're not going to tell about the realtor's lies. You're not going to tell what happened to you. And you know what that does? That makes it so that it happens to the real estate consumer again, over and over and over. And this happens case after case after case. They drag you out for years. Sometimes the realtor who lied ends up moving on from the company. And most of the time, from what I've seen, it's the actual broker owner. So the E&O insurance is so strong, they're just going to keep bringing in engineers and bringing in attorneys and bringing in home inspectors and just chaos of situations just to keep you in court for years and keep you running out of money. Because, I mean, how long can you last, really? So, you folks need to start talking about it. It is a violation of your civil rights, your human rights, your consumer rights to shut you up about what's happened to you. So email me your story, crystal@crystalcox.com, and let's get something from your lawsuit, all right? Let's get back those sleepless nights. Let's get back the time and money and effort you spent. Oh, can't get those back. But let's have the good feeling that I get from helping even one of you to have it not happen to you. Many of you folks out there can help other people to not get into the same situation that you did by trusting whoever you trusted in your real estate transaction. So email me your story, email me your video, respond to this video here on YouTube, and let's expose these situations. Now, what if you signed this piece of paper that said you wouldn't talk about it? Well, talk about it anyway. And demand that this is a violation of your rights, your basic rights. You should be able to tell what this realtor did to you. Why do you have to shut up about it? Shh. Because they want to make sure it happens to the next person, right? I have a lot to say about this subject, folks. And no, none of it's positive. Because lawsuits are not positive. And there's no reason you should shut up about it, sweep it under the rug while the realtors run off and do it again. Okay. realestateindustrywhistleblower.com. Knowledge is power, folks.